So how does a nation with amazing resources and a stable democracy really unlock its full potential? Today, we're digging into a really powerful set of proposals for constitutional reform in Ghana that aim to do just that. They're about completely rethinking how the country plans its future, manages its national inheritance, and, controls its finances. And these aren't just small tweaks. This is about fundamentally reimagining how Ghana builds its future. Let's get into it.
This one line from the report it perfectly captures the mission. The whole idea is that it's not just about holding elections. It's about making sure those elections lead to real, tangible progress. It's about building a democracy that actually develops the nation, one where your vote translates directly into better schools, reliable roads, and a stronger economy for everyone.
And that right there leads to this huge question. The report talks about the risk of becoming a choiceless democracy. It's a system where, governments change, but the actual well-being of the average citizen doesn't really improve all that much. The proposals we're about to look at are designed to break that exact cycle.
Okay, so the first big piece of this transformation is all about creating a master plan. The best way to think about it is like an architect's blueprint for a house, right? Instead of just building one room at a time with no clear vision, this creates a single, unified plan for the entire country.
Just look at the difference here. On the one hand, you've got the current reality, this constant cycle of abandoned projects and wasted money every time a new government comes to power. It's a fractured path. But on the other side, the proposal is for one single, binding national development plan that every government, no matter what party they're from, would be legally required to follow.
And look, this isn't just some nice idea on paper. It's a framework that's designed to have real teeth. The whole process is built around consensus. The National Planning Commission drafts it, but, and this is key, check out step 2, it needs a supermajority in Parliament to become law. That lifts it above day-to-day politics. And from that point on, everything, all budgets, even the president's annual report, has to line up with it.
So what's the big deal? Well, this forces a shift from short-term, 4-year thinking to long-term, generational planning. It makes sure the country is always moving in a consistent direction. But of course, a plan is only as good as the resources you have to build it. And that brings us to the second pillar.
So if that first pillar is the blueprint, the second one is all about protecting the building materials, the nation's collective inheritance. This section totally reframes Ghana's public lands and natural resources. They're not just assets for the government to control, they're a trust held for the benefit of all citizens. And at the heart of this pillar is a really powerful legal idea: fiduciary duty. It sounds a little complicated, but the concept is actually pretty simple. It means the government has a binding legal obligation to manage the nation's lands and resources in the absolute best interest of the people, who are its true owners.
So this is what that looks like in practice. First, ownership of public lands and minerals is explicitly moved from the president to the people. The Lands Commission then becomes the people's trustee. And critically, mismanaging this trust becomes a punishable offense. Now pay close attention to that last point. Parliament would have to approve resource deals before they are signed, not after. That gives the people's representatives real power to stop bad deals right in their tracks.
This reform goes after a major loophole: the state's power to seize private land. The new rule is simple. The government can't take someone's land for a so-called public purpose and then just quietly hand it over to a private developer. The purpose has to be public, it has to be immediate, and it has to be clear. No more ambiguity.
And to protect the environment itself, the report proposes something really groundbreaking: a new criminal offense called ecocide. This would make severe, widespread, and long-term environmental damage a crime, holding those who destroy the nation's natural heritage accountable at the very highest level.
Okay, so we've got the blueprint, and we've protected the inheritance. The final pillar is all about managing the money, the national household budget. These reforms are all designed to bring discipline, transparency, and accountability to public finance.
Think of the national budget like a big reservoir. Well, one of the biggest leaks is often tax exemptions, which can drain away billions in potential revenue year after year. This proposal tackles that leak head-on. It requires Parliament to set an annual cap, forcing a public debate on just how much is being given away and whether it's actually worth it.
You know how emergency funds can sometimes be used for things that aren't, emergencies? This reform tightens up the definition of what urgent and unforeseen spending really is. The contingency fund would be saved for genuine national crises, like a flood or a pandemic, not for plugging routine gaps in the budget. It's all about instilling some fiscal discipline.
Now this one is a real game changer for accountability. The Comptroller and Accountant General is transformed from just an administrator into a powerful financial gatekeeper. This office would have the clear constitutional authority to just say no and block any payment that isn't backed by law. It provides a crucial independent check on spending. Basically, it gives the public's accountant the power to actually protect the public's money.
So what does this all really add up to? Well, these aren't just technical financial rules. They create a powerful system that's designed to stop waste, fight corruption, and make sure every single cedi of public money is used to build a stronger, more resilient economy for Ghana.
So we've seen the three pillars: the blueprint, the inheritance, and the budget. Individually, each one is a powerful reform. But what happens when you actually lock them all together? That's when you get the foundation for a true developmental democracy.
See these three pillars? They all work together. The blueprint gives you the vision. The protected inheritance provides the resources to actually achieve that vision for generations to come. And the disciplined budget makes sure those resources are used efficiently to turn that big vision into a real, tangible reality for every single citizen. This is way more than just a constitutional review. It's a profound question for Ghana, and really for any nation that's rich in potential. What happens when you finally align the rules of the game with the dreams of the people? The answer to that, well, that could be transformation.